the galaxy. I put a post on YouTube. It's something new that people are doing, and it's more kind of like a Facebook feed, a Instagram feed. You can post video clips, pictures, polls, that sort of thing. And I asked people to ask me questions, and I'm going to read them to you and answer them. Quickest way to install a broken floor tile. Do you wait the 24 hours before grouting? I want to do it in one trip. Thanks. Well, many moons ago, we're going back 10 years, I used to do restaurant maintenance. And one of those restaurants was a famous, world famous steakhouse. I guess you could probably guess which one it is. And I had to replace these square tiles. They're like a brickish type tile, the red tiles. So as soon as it closed, I would go in and it chiseled things out, got the tile all set up. Well, like 2, 3 in the morning, some guy comes through with a hose, literally a hose, and just hoses the entire kitchen and the make lines, everything out. And the next day, my tile job was a disaster. There is a quick setting thin set that you can get that sets up in a few hours and then you can grout. So that tile that I installed the second time with the fast curing thin set, it's been there over a decade, going strong. Look for the fast curing thin set and you can get it done in one day. Or you can go to lunch or something like that. You don't have to do a whole 24-hour deal. Keep in mind, these are just my opinions and my experience. So just take it for that. What's more important to success, marketing or sales? I'm going to say this day and age, right now, forget the corona thing, but go back 3 or 4 months, I'd say they're equal because there's so many marketing opportunities out there. There's just a ton of different methods to market your business, to fast track your growth. I've always said word of mouth is the best advertising. The salesmanship part of it, separating yourself from the competition. When you're in front of somebody, you sell yourself. Your work, your presentation, it sells itself. Once you have an established reputation and you pick up that word of mouth referral, then you can get rid of your marketing budget. And your salesmanship really isn't a sales gimmick. It's just you sell yourself. Your quality of work, your presentation, your customer communication, the interactions, your professionalism. It's very, very easy to separate yourself from the competition. And that right there is sales. Hiya, Handyman. My question is about scheduling. I work by myself. I do one job at a time. Right now, I've got about a dozen customers that want me to do work for them. Most of these are 2 to 4 day jobs. How do you tell the customer that you very much like the work, but it's going to be X numbers of days or weeks before you can get to them? Do your jobs in order that the person called. I really struggle with this. I hate to turn down work. How do you tell a customer that you very much like their work, but it's going to be X numbers of days or weeks? You open your mouth and just say it. If you are good and you have a reputation, it's expected that you can't go to work tomorrow or next week. Most people that call me are referred to me and they call to get on the schedule. We want to get on your schedule. We're thinking about doing a deck in the spring and they're calling me in November or December. If I have a long-time customer that has some sort of emergency and it's a quick half-day job, I'll bump them right up to the front of the line. But in general, I just tell them, this is what I'm available for. A lot of things change. And people come and people go. People reschedule. People die. I've experienced so many reasons for people changing the schedule. So I don't overbook, or something drops off, I'll get in touch with one of the jobs that I really want to do. Maybe it's going to make a little more money. Maybe they've been a little bit longer customer, and I'll bring them in to fill that spot. Do you do your jobs in order? Not necessarily in order, but a lot of it's a mental game for me. So if I have something that's a dirty, pain in the ass job, the next one I'm going to schedule is something that's a little bit cleaner, a little bit faster pace, a little bit more dollars per day type thing, just to kind of change things up. I got to keep myself mentally in the game so that I don't just get worn out and burn out. Oh my God, this is getting technical. What's your highest net revenue amount? What's your highest growth profit amount? And what allowed you to get there? This was probably before I did YouTube. I was highly motivated. and in better shape and less worn out, like less joint problem, less back problem. I've told the story often. I changed up a bit of the way I talked. Basically, I just asked for more money, and I asked for it in a certain way. Like, okay, just say it. $10,000 a month, which was the profit. The total project amount was only $12,500 to $13,000, so I had about a $10,000 profit. Later that summer, I think I did like $28,000 in 1 month. The very next month is the month that I bought my sailboat, and that is, I can't remember what year it is. 2014, maybe 2015. Oh, and he says, what allowed me to do that? The reputation kind of sold my work for me, and just asking for the money and saying it as a matter of fact. And a lot of people in a certain neighborhoods didn't even bat an eye. They didn't even get second quotes, third quotes. They just said, oh yeah, well, this guy or this lady said that you're the best they've ever worked with. When can you start? That's how it went. Someone asked, do you 45 or do you cope your baseboard joints? I've done both. Lately, I've been coping, where you cope it and then kind of spring load it in there. And then the next one, you cope it and you cut the next one, you kind of spring load it in there. It gets it real nice and tight the way it presses in there. Now, I'm not like any sort of master trim carpenter. I do use caulk whenever I do paint. And it's very, very rare to see me do stain grade trim. Honestly, it's just not that popular right now. Everything is white paint. Here's a good one. Any suggestions on how to take on bigger projects that might fall outside my comfort level and expertise? I want to slowly build up to bigger projects, but don't want to take on more than I can handle. There was this one flood job that I did. I was very proud of myself after it. Some basements have structural wood floors. When you have too much of expansive soil and you want a basement, you can't put a slab on grade. So what you do is you put in a structural floor. Some of them are steel structural floors with a concrete slab with an air gap like this. A lot of them are wood structural floors where there's TJIs that are about this far off the floor. So anyways, it was a basement, washing machine floods, a section of about the width of this table saw and workbench got soaked, and the TJIs sagged. So in their basement, they had just a big droop in their floor. Highly repeat customer. A lot of their houses are on the channel, the main YouTube channel. So what I did is I pulled the carpet back, pulled out all the subfloor, cut out all the warped TJIs, ordered new TJIs, had to put in some caissons, some posts, and a beam for these TJIs because there was no way to get them inside the house to do the full span. It was well over 20-foot span. And put it all back together, passed inspection, and they ended up selling the house 2-3 years later. One of many that I got into. I've done entire house remodels, from flooring to paint to railings to windows, doors, cabinets, not countertops. Setting the expectations with the customer. Don't over-promise. Under-promise, over-deliver, especially on the schedule. Make sure they know that you're doing this on your own. You're the only person that's going to be in their house, the only person that they're going to have to deal with. If you break it down into small pieces and keep yourself mentally in the game, it's pretty easy. So someone asked, which stock did you finally pull the trigger on? And they're referring to a post that I put up on, God, I can't remember, it was about a week or so ago. Today is the 3rd, and what do we have? The jobs report came out, and a lot of stocks are starting to creep down. And it's so tempting to have both a Robinhood account and a Webull account. The Webull, it's still in the process of transferring money over there. I'm still holding out a little bit longer to try to catch the bottom. And if I miss the bottom, I'm going to get in on the upswing. I'm trying to avoid getting in on the downswing. I did get lucky on I think it was March 26th. It was a Monday where everything crashed. It was the lowest of the last year. Got in with Disney. It's gone up since I got in. It hasn't even gotten close down to the purchase price. Stayed consistently $10 or more above what I bought the shares at. There's a whole bunch that I'm looking at. I don't know if I should rattle them off now. This video is probably getting long. I honestly like the interface of Robinhood better. Webull is got a lot of information, way more than I'm capable of understanding. I'm still watching Disney to see if it gets down to what I bought at or below. Watching Boeing, it seems to be up today. United Airlines, ExxonMobil, Chevron, Halliburton. I'm looking at this one called Ladder Capital. It was the lowest drop today. It's only $3.39 right now. But who knows? The company could go out of business. It's only been in business for a couple of years. It's a real estate type lending company. I'm watching 3M, I'm watching General Motors, I'm watching Coca-Cola. You'll notice that a lot of them are very successful companies. They call them blue chip stocks. One other one I'm looking at is Penny Mac. They're only at $7.11 right now. Probably could do a whole video on my learning process of this, which is still very small. Don't want to come off as an expert. Every morning, I'm glued to this phone, checking stocks, checking the history of the stocks for prior to 2016, because in 2016 things kind of just shot up out of nowhere. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole too far. Talk about the corona. I'm going to do a video specifically to that, how it's affecting me, the unemployment, that thing there. I've been reading every day, trying to get the latest information about how self-employed or gig business type people who are like musicians, or people like us who are self-employed, how they go about getting unemployment. And I'm going to have to make you wait for that video. This past year, what was your favorite project and why? My most favorite jobs to do are troubleshooting jobs, where someone says, we don't know why this is broken, whether it's the sprinkler system that was erupting in the backyard of that house last year. It's been about a year, maybe a little bit more. Things like that are my favorite things to do. Long, drawn out remodeling jobs, don't really like to do. I like quick turnover jobs. That's what I'm be moving to in the future. Can I schedule a live stream? God, the live streams have been getting too crazy the last several times I've tried them. Be putting them on the third channel. A lot of people have been asking to be part of the third channel, but they have no idea what that third channel is, and that's bad news. So if you have no idea what it is, it's going to stay that way. You got to email me or send me a direct message saying, I want to watch your third channel because I know it's all about this. I've had a lot of weirdos highly confused by what they saw once they got there. But that is where I'll be doing the live streams. How much whiskey can I drink in one sitting? You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. A lot. Remodeling handyman industry will pick back up where it left off after the mess, or will it take some time for people to start spending money on their homes again? Is it going to take some time for them to spend money on their homes? I think the maintenance part will bounce back faster than luxury things.
Like, let's change out our backsplash. Ooh, look, come look what I found on HGTV or Pinterest.
Aesthetic things like that, you know, the HGTV frenzy, shiplap, floating shelves, lots of backsplash jobs were out there. I think those are going to be slower to come back. The core maintenance, roof leaks, lots of things coming this spring. I just said roof leaks. There's going to be a ton of those. But I think general home maintenance will bounce back relatively quick once they're not worried about you bringing corona into their house. Another thing is like rotten decks, wood rot repair, outside stuff. People are getting outside, they're looking at their house like, oh geez, my soffit's rotting, I got
raccoon up in my attic.
That sort of stuff is going to be bouncing back faster than the luxury aesthetic things. Please give the video a like, subscribe if this is your first time here, maybe it's not, and look for a corona video on that CARES Act stimulus plan. The details haven't come out on how to do it. Goodbye.